Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances to trying to convince the public that these bromances are perfectly normal. And we're not really asking for that convincing, but Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality.
Blake Lively is spiraling into a full-blown meltdown after Ryan Reynolds managed to torpedo his own career, and in the process made her lawsuit look even worse. If Justin Baldoni hadn't stepped in, the world might still be fooled into thinking this so-called power couple was Hollywood perfection.
Anyways, people really began upping the questioning of his sexuality.
Now, with persistent rumors about Ryan's sexuality swirling, it's becoming painfully obvious that something has been off with their marriage from the very beginning.
Jackman opted to kiss his male co-star throughout this production, even though in the original screenplay, there was no kiss between the male star.
And who was scrambling to hold it all together? Blake. She pulled every trick in the crisis management playbook, hiring ex-CIA operatives, bullying creators, threatening lawsuits, just to keep the chaos under wraps.
My viewpoint is Blake Lively has nothing to do with what is happening. Her husband has come undone.
But then enters Ryan, her oh-so-charming husband, who somehow manages to sabotage everything she tries to fix. Every time. The man can't resist turning their collapse into comedy, this time by clowning around on SNL.
Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why, what have you heard?
And of course, he cracked those smug, I'm fine jokes, pretending their PR train wreck isn't spiraling completely out of control. Does he actually think the public is too stupid to see through it?
Joking about how you and your wife essentially tried to leverage by accusing him of sexual harassment.
Every time Blake's stuck in a PR disaster, Ryan swoops in with a gag to distract from the reality that their empire is crumbling. Forget the lawsuits, the scandals, the reputational carnage. Just laugh it off, because apparently comedy is their last line of defense.
Here at her Simple Favor 2 premiere, and people are noting that she seems increasingly uncomfortable and anxious, and maybe it really is just a lot for her to deal with.
And of course, they didn't stop there. Why just act happy when you can literally hire the paparazzi to capture those perfect, we're so in love moments? Who needs real stability when you can buy a fake narrative? The media ate it up. Naturally, because why bother with truth when staged photos sell better? Blake played the perfect wife smiling on cue, while behind closed doors their world was anything but picture perfect.
Jackman, Wolverine, will be deposed, and I suspect that might be making Ryan Reynolds extremely nervous, and I'll tell you why.
Now let's get into the career self-destruction part, because Ryan recently pulled a move that left everyone stunned. This one isn't about Blake, it's about Ryan's so-called romances, especially his very public obsession with Hugh Jackman.
He was gay, fine. He would say he's gay. It has gotten so out of whack that they say it's stupid, and yeah, it's annoying because it's not true.
That's right. So you as an actor, you can't be able to sing, dance, and be straight.
Right. Well, it's just ridiculous.
Seriously, how many times does he need to tell us about it? Every single time they're in the same room, the bromance talk gets cranked up to 11, like the world hasn't heard enough already.
Ryan's kind of perpetually highly publicizing his bromances is something that I find to be quite strange, right? Mostly because he's a 48-year-old man, Ryan Reynolds.
At this point, it feels like Ryan's desperate for a gold star in bromance performance art. Like, yes, Ryan, we get it. You're friends with Hugh Jackman. Nobody asked you to turn it into a full-blown PSA.
In Reynolds' bromances, his various bromances over the years, we've talked about him and Jake Gyllenhaal, and obviously this has been a bromance that has been very much thrown in the public's face.
And naturally, Candace Owens couldn't resist chiming in. She questioned why Ryan seems obsessed with defending these bromances, constantly reminding the public how normal it is for men to hang out without it being a big deal.
He has 4 kids. And he seems to dedicate a lot of time and resources, like financial resources, to trying to convince the public that these bromances are perfectly normal. And we're not really asking for that convincing.
She flat out called him out, pointing to his desperate need for validation, asking why he feels compelled to prove his masculinity through these overhyped friendships with his male co-stars.
We're not really asking for that convincing. Like, I don't need people to convince me that guys can hang out with one another, but he feels like he has to make that effort. So he's like, nothing's weird here. Nothing's weird. Bromances are so normal. I mean, notoriously, that's the reason why he flew out Liz Plank, Justin Baldoni's podcast partner.
Because let's be honest, why does he keep shoving it in everyone's face? We get it, Ryan. But the more he insists on proving he's Hollywood's ultimate straight guy, the more it feels like he's hiding something. Insecurity, deflection, whatever it is, the harder he tries, the more suspicious it looks.
If you find out that Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Hefner have a relationship or something, it does change significantly. It tells you about the mindset. I mean, there's so many things that are relevant for the jury to understand about what was going on in these people's lives.
It really makes you wonder, what's going on behind Ryan's carefully crafted public persona? The man can't stop parading his friendship with Hugh Jackman, loudly insisting it's totally straight. But why the constant reassurance? This isn't the 90s. No one's shocked that two men can hang out platonically. Yet Ryan seems obsessed with making sure the world believes it, like he's working overtime to guard an image no one even questioned.
Deposition will likely be crucial. They are not leaving any stone unturned.
And here's where it gets interesting. Hugh Jackman, the lovable Wolverine himself, has somehow been dragged into the legal chaos surrounding It Ends With Us. Jackman wasn't just a friendly face stopping by set. His involvement stretched far beyond sharing scenes with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni.
Jackman was also in the now infamously cringe It Ends With Us promotional skit that had nothing to do with promoting the movie, which was about domestic violence, where Ryan directed it and he brought in his mom and Blake was in the background. We learned that.
Ever the showman, Jackman participated in a bizarre promotional skit, one that, in hindsight, looks like a catastrophic mistake. What was meant? As comedy ended up targeting Baldoni directly, turning a lighthearted moment into a weaponized jab that only added fuel to an already raging fire.
Also brought in his best friend because he just wanted a little bit of A-list power there. And when you're really obviously trying to be a high school bully, you want to be like, we're the cool kid.
And this wasn't just a random slip. Jackman's presence gave the whole ordeal a dangerous dose of star power, escalating the stakes and dragging the scandal into headlines it never should have touched, especially once the legal implications began to surface.
Nothing. What better way to make him uncomfortable than to promote his movie, him being Justin Baldoni's movie, and bring in an A-lister to mock him. And so Hugh Hefner played himself.
What complicates things further is the timeline. While It Ends With Us was in production, so was Deadpool, another project tying Reynolds and Jackman together. Suddenly, the overlap isn't just coincidence. It's a web of conflicting loyalties and blurred professional lines.
No. It's not every day a guy gets to interview the love interest of his best friend's wife and the guy trying to replace Ryan as a husband and me as his best mate.
Holy sh**.
What the hell are you doing messing with my best buddy's wife?
Sir, I have no idea what's happening.
Hollywood's favorite nice guy finds himself entangled in a messy scandal he never saw coming. Jackman's clean-cut persona is colliding with the uglier side of Hollywood politics, and the result is a tangled drama that makes even Wolverine look vulnerable.
Hefner then appeared at the It Ends With Us premiere. Again, not his movie. Kind of weird that he's hitting the red carpet with them. He obviously knows what is going on. What would that conversation have been on the way to the premiere?
To make matters worse, the scandal kicked into overdrive when Jackman and Reynolds openly mocked Justin Baldoni during promotional events. The footage of that mockery didn't just vanish. It became a centerpiece in the unfolding legal drama, cementing their involvement in ways neither of them anticipated.
So he was one of the unnamed dragons, if you will, in all of this. And it looks like for that, he is being awarded for his contributions with a deposition. All right.
The same actor who once charmed the world as a mutant superhero is preparing to sit for a deposition. Jackman will be forced to testify about his behavior during the filming of both It Ends With Us and Deadpool. It's the kind of storyline you'd expect from trashy reality TV, not from a Hollywood veteran with a spotless reputation.
Romance is almost this permission for men to connect and to show love to each other, because it's like a joke.
Then came 2023, when Jackman announced his separation from Deborah Lee Furness, his wife of 27 years. The timing was impossible to ignore. It coincided almost perfectly with the chaos surrounding Deadpool and the promotional disaster tied to It Ends With Us.
If you were unaware, he recently divorced his wife of 27 years. Her name is Deborah Lee Furness. 27 years is a very long time to be married. They announced their separation to the public in September of 2000.
It was as if Hollywood itself had rolled out a red carpet for maximum drama. But the announcement only reignited long-circulating speculation about Jackman's sexuality, a rumor mill that had followed him for decades. His divorce reopened questions about whether he had been hiding something deeper all along.
It was in the midst of the principal filming for Deadpool and Wolverine, which got abruptly paused in that September due to the SAG-AFTRA strike.
The combination of his separation and the lawsuit chaos created a storm that invited relentless speculation. When he filed for divorce, fresh whispers about his private life resurfaced, amplified by the fact that his personal drama was colliding directly with his professional projects.
Hugh Jackman has been plagued with rumors of homosexuality throughout his entire career. It has been speculated for a host of reasons, some fair, some not. Some people just never really bought into him at the peak of his career.
And then the dots started connecting. Jackman's film choices, his off-screen life, and the gossip that never seemed to fade suddenly looked like parts of a larger narrative. What made it even juicier was his association with Reynolds, who himself has battled similar rumors for years. The speculation wasn't new, but the timing was almost too perfect to dismiss.
Quite strange. He was 28 years old when they got married. She was 41 years old. So many people were saying right off the bat, no. This guy is using her as a beard, which is the term that people use when you're in like one of these cover marriages.
The relationship between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman has always fascinated the public, thanks to their endless banter about their so-called bromance. The media eats it up, and Reynolds certainly plays along. But during the filming of Deadpool and It Ends With Us, their dynamic took on a darker, more serious edge, especially once Jackman became entangled in the controversy swirling around Justin Baldoni.
Gay jokes, but nobody's actually asking him to do that. Not the gay community or the heterosexual community.
It's almost as if the constant joking online was just a smokescreen, designed to cover up the real tension brewing behind the scenes. Jackman, usually the calm, collected professional, was suddenly pulled into a toxic mix of lawsuits, public feuds, and personal upheaval that no amount of witty banter could